Well, happy Monday morning, my beautiful Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube friends. My name is Tiffany Dowhan, Canadian country recording artist and entertainer, and also founder and president of the High Heels and Spurs Self-Esteem Foundation and Program. I am so excited to do one of now going to be many videos for you guys in regards to helping you with your personal growth, your development, your self-worth, your self-esteem, and just giving you tools to live a bigger, better, richer life. I'm so pumped for this. So today's topic is going to be about following your dreams. So today I want you to really think about this, is what is your dream? What is your purpose? And you know what? Many of us have lost focus on what our dreams are and what our goals are, because we have to wake up every day and go to that 9-to-5 job, pay our bills. Or maybe we're in school and we're trying to figure that out, and we have people telling us it's not possible. So what I want you guys to think about today is, what do you want to do in this life? What is your purpose? What are you truly passionate about? And have you made the decision to walk towards it or to walk away from it? And you know what, for me, I knew in my heart that music was always something that was important to me. It always impacted me. It always healed me. It was always something that was very, very near and dear and close to my heart. However, when I was growing up, I was told by, I hate to say it, by my teachers, by some peers, by some of my friends' parents even, that what a silly dream that is. Only one out of however many make it. Why would you ever consider doing something like that? Money doesn't grow on trees. It's not like my mom and dad were rich by any means. So how was I going to be able to afford to be able to do this? And I think that was something that, I knew I always wanted to pursue it, but there was always like these voices talking to me, telling me that it wasn't possible. And, I sang throughout high school. I entered singing competitions. I worked on my music. I played the Calgary Stampede. I've traveled all over the place. And even now, traveling into the United States, focusing on my music and doing things like that. And, I'm not Miranda Lambert by any means yet, or Reba McEntire, or any of my idols yet. However, I made a choice. And I made a choice at a young age that whether or not people told me it was possible, I was still going to pursue it. And to this day, I'm still pursuing it. So as you watch this video, I want you guys to think about, what's maybe a dream that you gave up on because you believed something that somebody told you. And whether it was money doesn't grow on trees, whether it was, you're not smart enough, you're not talented enough, that's not possible. I want you guys to think about those people that told you that. And really, are they telling you that because they're afraid to go out and chase their dreams and focus on their goals, okay? So I want you to think about that as you watch this video. So I'm going to tell you a little story about myself. And before I do that, I'm going to introduce you to my dog. He's trying to play with me. But for those of you that don't know Little Wood, this is Little Wood. This is my partner in crime. And he's going to be bothering me this whole time I do this video. So be prepared to see him and see him a lot. So say hi, Little Wood. And he looks me in the face. So I'm going to tell you guys a little story about myself and my journey with my music. So throughout high school, you guys, I really struggled. I was made fun of because I had twang in my voice. I was told, even as I was in singing competitions, that I had too much twang in my voice, that I was too country. I was told I was too fat. I'm still told I'm too fat to be in the music industry. And you know what? These are things that I made a choice. They could either hold me back or I could continue to pursue my dream. So when I graduated, I went into radio broadcasting. And for those of you that work in radio, or if you don't know this, when you work in radio, you don't make lots of money. It's not really one of the biggest, most, high-paying careers out there. And I was living in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, working for a radio station. I loved my job, but I knew I wanted to pursue my music. So I was lucky enough to be able to spend time at the radio station with the music director that was working there. And basically got to pick his brain and sit in on music meetings and kind of learn a little bit about that part of the industry. And he said, Tiffany, if you're going to send me something, I don't want it to be something you recorded in your buddy's basement. It has to be something good quality. So he said, it's going to cost you money. And I'm like, okay. So I'm working in radio, not making very much money. I got to figure this out. And he was very encouraging and gave me some ideas of where I could record my album, things like that. So I started doing research and realized, wow, this is going to cost me lots of money. And I am broke. I think at the time I was paying $325, for a place in Edmonton. I don't want to say when that was, to date myself. But also, you know, my mom and dad were paying my car insurance because I wasn't making very much money. And I remember thinking, I gotta make this, you know, 3-song CD as what I wanted to do. So I remember going home to my mom and saying, you know, Mom, I really want to do this. And she goes, Tiffany, you know, financially, this is going to be tough. But you're a smart girl, you'll figure it out. So I'm like, okay, Mom, you're right. So I started throwing around ideas kind of in my head, and I knew I could fundraise some of the money and get some sponsorship maybe. But the rest of the money I was going to have to figure out how to get. So maybe go get another job. I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. And as I was brainstorming, I thought, you know what? There's a lot of kids that when in high school, they went to Europe and they raised money by selling pierogies. So no, if you don't know what a pierogi is, you're going to have to Google it and check it out. But pierogies are delicious. It's a Ukrainian food. And I basically sat down with my mom and my 2 grandmas and said, here's the deal. I really want, you know, to pay for this album. So would you guys be willing to help me make pierogies? You know, grandma intensive labor. And we made pierogies, and we made enough to pay for the rest of my album, or my 3-song CD. And for me, that was my foot into the door in the country music industry. You know, I started to get radio play. I started to get exposure. I started to get gigs. You know, my singing career really started there. But here's the thing, you guys. I was 19 years old. So if you're watching this video and you're young, and you know, you're at that point in your life where you really want to focus on something and do something, but you're thinking, oh, I'd rather be out having fun with my friends, or I'd rather be, you know, I don't know, just doing things other than focusing on getting where you want to be in the next 3 to 5 years. I want you to take a step back and think about this. I was 19 years old, you guys. I should have been out drinking with my friends. I should have been partying. I should have been, you know, I should have been doing things that were honestly a distraction, but I made a decision at that time that I would much rather every weekend go home. I would sit with my 2 grandmas and my mom, and, you know, I'd pinch and make pierogies. And we sold a ton. And it was why my album, or my 3-song CD came to fruition, okay? So think about that. What do you want? And with every basically decision or choice that you make in this life, Keith Kochner, one of my favorite mentors that's in this world, he always says, with every choice, there's either a price or a benefit. You know, what did I really lose by not going out with my friends and partying when I was 19? But what did I gain? What was the benefit from me making pierogies and selling those pierogies? You guys, the reason I have songs on the radio right now is because of that choice, is because of choosing to do that instead of going out and maybe not going in the path of my dreams and my goals, okay? So think about that. And also think about this. Those people that told me I couldn't afford it, guess what? Are they laughing now, or who's laughing? You know, they always say, that person who laughs the hardest is always the person who laughs last, right? So really, at the end of the day, I'm a lot farther ahead because I made that choice, okay? So that's what I want you guys to think about. And I want to share one story before I kind of wrap this up today for you guys. This is something that I remember hearing this story, and I actually have a really successful business with an amazing company called Arbonne, a network marketing company. And I'm really, really blessed to be a part of that company because I've had the opportunity to be around some amazing mentors, leaders, hear from some of the top people in the world at little to no cost. And it's been phenomenal. Arbonne is very much a great company when it comes to our products, but we focus so much on personal growth and development, and I've been so blessed to be a part of our company and be a VP with Arbonne. So I remember hearing this at one of our events, and that was our GM, Helena Alexander, who actually shared this at the time. And I remember listening to this because for those of you that do know me, you know I'm a big horse person. I'm very passionate about horses and how they can help and how they can heal. But I remember her sharing this story and thinking, wow, this is so powerful because this is something that I can relate to, and anybody who's focusing on chasing a dream or a goal in life can relate to. So this is from Chicken Soup for the Soul by Jack Canfield and by Mark Victor Hansen. So for those of you that do not know Jack Canfield, I would recommend that you get any of his books. I don't know if you guys can see behind me, but this is one of my favorite books. I remember growing up as a kid, Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul. Make sure that you get your kids reading, or if you're in high school, start reading his books. They are phenomenal. And he's also written a book, if you're in business, that you would absolutely love, is The Success Principles. Changed my business and changed my life as far as setting goals, focusing on my dreams, having focus in my business. Unbelievable. So Jack Canfield, make sure that you tap into his tools that are out there. Okay, but that's where this little excerpt is from. So it all goes back to a story about a young man who was the son of a poor horse trainer who would go from stable to stable, racetrack to racetrack, farm to farm, and ranch to ranch, training horses. As a result, the boy's high school years were continually interrupted. When he was a senior, he was asked to write a paper about what he wanted to be when he grew up. That night, he wrote a 7-page paper describing his goal of someday owning a horse ranch. He wrote about his dream in great detail. He even drew a 200-acre horse ranch, showing the location of all the buildings, the stables, and the track. Then he drew a detailed floor plan for a 4,000 square foot house that would sit on his 200-acre dream ranch. He put a great deal of his heart into the project, and the next day he handed it in to his teacher. 2 days later, he received his paper back, and on the front was a large red F with a note that read, "See me after class." The boy with the dream went to see the teacher after class and asked, "Why did I receive an F?" The teacher said, "This is an unrealistic dream for a boy like you. You have no money, you come from a poor family, you have no resources. Owning a horse ranch requires a lot of money. You have to buy the land, you have to pay for the original breeding stock, and later you'll have to pay large stud fees. There's no way you could ever do it." Then the teacher added, "If you will rewrite this paper with a more realistic goal, I will reconsider your grade." The boy went home and thought about it long and hard. He asked his father what he should do. His father said, "Look, son, you have to make up your own mind on this. However, I think it's a very important decision for you." Finally, after sitting with it for a week, the boy turned in the same paper, making no changes at all. He stated, "You can keep the F, and I'll keep my dream." Today, these are the words Monty Roberts wants you to hear. I now own a 4,000 square foot house in the middle of my 200-acre horse ranch. I still have that school paper framed right over the fireplace. The best part of the story is that 2 summers ago, that same school teacher brought 30 kids to camp out on my ranch for a week. When the teacher was leaving, he said, "Look, Monty, I can tell you this now. When I was your teacher, I was something of a dream stealer. During those years, I stole a lot of kids' dreams. Fortunately, you had enough guts to not give up on yours. So today, this is what I want you to ask yourself. Are you willing to give up on your dreams because somebody told you it's not possible? Because that is absolutely ridiculous. And even for me, you guys, like I said earlier, I am no Miranda Lambert yet, and I am no Reba McEntire yet. But I am not willing to give up on my dream because somebody said it's not possible for me. God would not put that dream and that purpose and that greatness in your heart if He didn't believe that you had everything possible to make it happen. I love you guys. Have an amazing Monday. I am going to be here for you every Monday, and I can't wait for it. Love you so much. Have a great week. Bye-bye.